Welcome to APCUG's Wednesday workshop, where we get together in the middle of the week and learn more about technology. Sort of continuing with a theme of operating systems, today we have with us Jolyn Bowler, first introduced to technology and computers through a book by Madeline Engel's book, A Wrinkle in Time. In ninth grade, she visited the IBM offices in White Plains, New York. And after graduating from Catherine Gibbs Secretarial School in Manhattan, she found her first job at the Children's Television Workshop. Yay! As secretary of the Assistant Director of Operations, Bob Dahl. When the telex or TWX was down or video or film reel wouldn't load, she was the one folks called to come to help. In 73, Jolyn moved to Hilton Head, Illinois, South Carolina, and worked as a camera operator at the local SCETV. In 1982, she took two classes, as she had mentioned in her talk, an introduction to computer concepts and a word processing class on a dedicated DECMAC system, which got her hooked. She worked as a temp during the 80s and could help any office with their computer needs. Jocelyn discovered the Hilton Head Island Computer Club in 91 and immediately volunteered at the monthly meetings. Through the years, she has held the positions of membership director, web mistress, vice president, president. She is now the resource center director for the club. When COVID shut down the club, Jolyn took to Zoom and could communicate with members through the shutdown. Good presentations, even if they couldn't meet in person, were given. She often gives presentation, has been called the Zoom Queen, helping all the volunteers do their Zoom presentations. Jolyn is a singer and a guitarist and has jammed and played with the same group of friends for the last 30-some years, something about mathematics of computers and music that fits. And she will be joining that group as soon as she's done with her presentation today. I gladly change things over to Jolyn, and I don't have a little guy to hold up, but I've got my guys in the background here.
Yes,
she's going to be talking to us today a lot about the Android ecosystem. A lot of us are involved in that, and so she's going to kind of let us know what's going on. Over to you.
Do my best. Thank you, sir. Let's go find the share button and make sure that that's open. And there we go. And share. And let me go to the slideshow and start there. There we go. Okay, good. I just need to bring that. Yeah, very good. We got it. Good. Okay. All righty. Well, as John said, I'm Jolyn Bowler. I am currently the Resource Center Director at the Hilton Head Island Computer Club. We got the news today that we are at 1,350 members, which is amazing to me since I was member 102. And we continue to grow, and it's been an amazing, wonderful experience to volunteer for this organization and to become a part of so many other online communities like APCUG and other computer clubs that I join in on when I can. So what are we talking about today? We are talking about Android. Android is Google's open source operating system, and it powers billions of devices. I went with Android over Apple because when I first joined the computer club, we had a wonderful volunteer who built computers, taught me how to build them. You couldn't build an Apple. It's proprietary. You cannot buy the pieces parts and put it together and magically you have a computer, but you can with Windows. So that's why I stuck there. And when smartphones first came out, because I was not in the Apple ecosystem, I went with Android. They're not just phones these days. We have tablets, watches, smart displays, auto in cars, and more. Built on the Linux kernel with Google's custom interface, runs on many devices beyond Google's own hardware. So as we know, anything that isn't an iPhone is generally going to be an Android, regardless of the manufacturer. So an overview of the platform and the market share. Android holds a significant share of the global smartphone market, leading in many regions worldwide. There are a bit more than 2 Android users for every 1 iPhone user worldwide. When Apple began and their PR and marketing hit the US, everybody has an iPhone. Most of the rest of the world does Android. Open source platform. Open source nature of Android allows multiple manufacturers to customize and use the platform. I personally use a Pixel because it's a Google product. It's the Android Google operating system, and it doesn't have all the extra stuff that Motorola. My very first one was a Motorola. Although I have a Samsung tablet, I don't like the Samsung phones because they put all the Samsung stuff on. So I have a Google phone for which is Android. The mobile device dominance. Android is widely adopted across mobile devices, making it a dominant operating system globally. We have been introduced to wearables and tablets. Android powers a variety of wearables and tablets, demonstrating its adaptability to different devices. And smart TVs and automotive systems. Android extends itself into the smart TV realm, as well as automotive infotainment systems, also bridging diverse technical fields. And I use Android Auto, and I find it working very well for me in my car. I have a 2019 Samsung Hyundai Santa Fe, and it works brilliantly in there, and they continue to improve it. So Android devices being released this year, last year, and this year. Your main device is the Google flagship smartphone featuring the Tensor chip and the advanced AI. The Pixel 10 was introduced earlier, late last year. That runs in the $800 range. The Pixel 10 Pro is the premium option with a larger screen, and the Pixel 10 Pro XL has the largest screen variant. The key features for the Pixel 10 are the processor Google Tensor G5, 3 nanometer, and it is 60% better than most AI performance. Display is 6.3-inch OLED APCUG, 120 hertz at 3,000 plus nits brightness. The cameras in the 10 are 48 megapixel wide, 13 megapixel ultra wide, and 10.8 megapixel telephoto. So the improvements in the 10, I have a 9 Pro, which I like. I chose not to opt for the 10 because I got a really good price on the 9 Pro. Excuse me. They're beautifully designed machines. I've had a 2, a 4, a 7A, and now a 9 Pro. I still have my 7A, but that's another story. So Samsung, these are other options for Android operating systems on non-Google products. So Samsung Galaxy S series, very popular phone. It's one of the top selling Android phones today. Flagship smartphones known for cutting edge technology and premium design, as well as they've started with the foldables. In fact, many of them are starting with are using foldable technology as well. The Motorola, which is my first, I had the Moto Z. I had 3 different Motos in my day before the Pixel was introduced, and the latest Razr foldables are beautiful. I have a friend who has one, and she really, really enjoys it. Very simple, fits in her pocket, easy to open, easy to see the front screen. It works the way she needs it to. There are also new Moto G models and a non-foldable signature flagship. The OnePlus models, the 2026 phones, they deliver high performance and fast charging with a refined designed user experience. I have another friend who actually has moved. She's an expat. She's moved to Mexico She had a OnePlus and just bought a brand new one when she was back in the States a couple of months ago, and she loves her OnePlus. So we are not limited to one size, style, or make in the Android realm. Tablets, the Pixel, I love my Pixel tablet. I rarely put it into the dock because I usually have it wandering around with me. I have a nice case for it as well. It's an 11-inch display, the Google Tensor G2 processor within. The magnetic charging dock is there. You don't have to have the charging dock. It charges fine from a cord. So this is kind of like the Google Nest expanded, because it can work as a Google Nest style hub, but it also works as a standalone tablet. And you can control your smart home devices, play music, stream content. The next option, of course, is the Samsung Galaxy tablets. I've owned 4 of them now. And I really like the way they work. John had mentioned my Jammer group. We share a Dropbox folder among the Jammers. We have over 9,000 listed song sheets that we can all have access to, sit around in a group. We have indexed them so that all we have to do is say the number. It's almost like a bingo call, and we can go right to Dropbox on the tablets. And I recommended the Samsung tablets to a couple of other jammers, and they're really enjoying them. I think the Samsung tablets are wonderful. I have now both the Pixel and the Samsung. I'm not sure I'm going to get another Samsung, but I may. I haven't decided yet, because this one's got another year at least to go on. Other Android tablets in various sizes and various features are available from OnePlus. From Lenovo, Lenovo does a beautiful Android tablet. The Amazon Kindle Fire is an Android tablet with the Fire operating system, which is one that wasn't mentioned before, but the Fire OS is on the Amazon Kindle Fire tablets. And there are more than that out there. Google Home automation, smart displays, home control, voice-controlled screens with Google Assistant. Earlier, before we started, Bill asked G a question, and my phone answered the question. So they're listening, and if you say the words that they think they understand that you want an answer, it will talk back to you. I don't leave my hubs on because I've always talked to my computers and they don't talk back. I like that. But these days, they'll talk back to us now. The Nest Hub is the 7-inch entry level. The Nest Hub Max is a 10-inch with a camera. I have that one in my kitchen. So if I'm working in my kitchen, I can video chat with others through Google Chat and other apps that are available. You can control devices, view cameras, read recipes, get the weather. Again, the voice control with the G Assistant and Gemini AI is exceptional. Adaptive brightness for photo frame mode. You can create a slideshow of all your Google photo pictures that can play on your hub. Sleep sensing technology tracks sleep without having a wearable on, which I think is an interesting. I haven't looked into that yet, but I'm going to. Quick gestures, pause the video with an air tap. So there are more and more, not just a tap on the screen, but also being able to see what your hands are doing. And especially for assistive technology, it's a wonderful tool to be able to use. And then the Matter Hub for smart home device connectivity, if I can say the word. In addition is the Nest thermostat, the climate control. Now they have released version 4, which I had to replace my earlier version with this year. I really like being able to be out of my home, check if it's a hot day, all of a sudden the temperature gets up to 80 degrees. I want a little AC in my house by the time I get home. I can do that remotely using the Nest thermostat. I really like that. I also have the Nest Protect smart smoke and carbon monoxide detection alerts, which I have, and I can check those on my phone and it gives me an update. And it is, as of 2025, was integrated with the Google Home app as well. And it does. I have the one in my bedroom lights up every so often just to make sure that I can see what I'm doing, even if I'm just lying in bed. Additionally, we have Nest cameras, home security. Indoor cam can be wired for continuous monitor within your home if you have animals at home, or maybe a parent who you need to kind of keep an eye on. That's the kind of thing that an indoor cam would work for. The outdoor cam, they're weather resistant and a way to watch securely outside your home, your door, or areas of their property that you need to be covered. They do offer an ultra-wide degree of field of view, intelligent alerts, whether it's people or packages or animals, and theft replacement is included. The Nest doorbell, I have just I haven't installed it yet because it hasn't been warm enough. It has to be consistently above 65 to be able to put this on my door. So as soon as we get a little warmer weather, I will be installing my Nest doorbell, and it will let me see, not only will the Amazon photo show me that something's arrived, but my camera will show me that something Michael Daniels of Tinkering with Tech, he has a Pixel watch. He loves it. And I'm seeing that my internet connection is unstable. I hope I'm not breaking up too badly. Also, the Samsung Galaxy Watch is a wonderful watch. OnePlus has one, Xiaomi with Wear OS. So there are watches available. If you have the Samsung phone, you can get a Samsung watch. If you have a Pixel phone, I would get the Pixel watch. Then going on to spatial computing, new headsets that are coming out. I am a Google Glass explorer. I miss them desperately. I never had to look down. I never had to look at a phone. I never had to look at a watch. Everything was right here. There were limitations because, of course, it was only the right eye. So if anybody was, sight impaired in the right eye, they couldn't use Google Glass. So there was a long way to go, but to be able to wink and take a picture, to be able to double tap for a video, I could read my emails, send and receive text, send and receive email, read my news. I love Google Glass. I miss them. Nothing quite meets my expectations for the new headsets, glasses with spatial computing, the Samsung Galaxy XR, partners like XReal committing to the platform, wireless design leveraging phone processing power. I think this technology will continue to improve and grow, and hopefully be able to bring us closer to the Google Glass type, not interfering right in front of your face. The new ones, they're all they're on the screen in front of you. The only time I ever saw Google Glass is if I looked up, there it was. And there was always a light that came on when it was recording. It's not that way with all the new glasses. So people got it wrong about Google Glass, but I'm glad I was able to experience it. So my key takeaways: Android powers far more than just phones. The Google's ecosystem includes complete smart home solutions. The Pixel devices offer flagship Android experience. I'll tell you, I just love my Pixel phone. The Nest products make home control simple, and wearables and XR represent future growth. Thought I'd go through a little bit of the pricing for the Android devices. In 2026, Google Android phones will run roughly from the mid 400s for the A series, and there is now a Pixel 10a, up to about 1,800 or more for the foldables. The main Pixels in the $700 to $1,200 flagship range. So an entry Android from Google, A series phones roughly 300 to mid 500s. Flagship slab phones like my Pixel 9, 700 to 1,200. I walked in with my 7a to Verizon to ask a question about something that I wasn't sure about. And he looked at my record and said, "Oh, you've been a Verizon customer for 18 years. Can we offer you a new phone for 99 cents?" So yeah, I have a 7A, which I still use. I have a 9 Pro, which I love. The Pixel 9 Pro Fold lists about 1,800, but you can often find these and the other devices on sale at different times. You go to the Google store or the Pixel store or to the various service providers, Amazon, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, etc. You will be able to maybe get one for a good deal kind of thing. And the Pixel tablets run 300 to 500, the watches and earbuds roughly 150 to 400. So that's the kind of price ranges that you're going to look at with the Androids. So I will now stop my share and, oh, one more page. I did send this. I love this. This is a little app called Androidify. And although it still is available, although it doesn't work the way it used to, I am a geek, an Android user, and a singer guitarist. So that is my Androidify. But I have these links to the various stores and sites where you can learn more about each of the devices that I talked about today. And I will stop the share and say, can I answer any questions?
Well, I can say you've taught me a lot. I may have to give the Pixel another look when it's time to get my new.
You got any questions?
Android.
Let me know.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'd even wait for the 11.
Yeah, I liked my Pixel phone so much better than this iPhone I have, but everybody in my family has an iPhone, so I went to the dark side. It sucks big time. I'm sorry, my brain goes Google. It does not do Apple products. And,
They're backwards. It starts with backwardsness.
Chris says, both my wife and I are in the Android camp. We have Samsung smartphones as well as tablets. I primarily use my tablet to listen to books on Audible every day while I exercise at my YMCA.
Awesome.
So good job on that. And Chris also says Best Buy has great deals on Samsung tablets around Black Friday. Why you would buy anything other than like on Black Friday or one of the Amazon, thingies that they have. Kathleen, you're on.
Thank you. And my question for Jolyn was security on the Pixel phones. How is that?
Well, aside from being secure, I also run Malwarebytes. I run Malwarebytes on every single device I have.
What is that again?
I
couldn't understand
Malwarebytes.
Malwarebytes. Okay.
Yes, malwarebytes.com. MALWAREBYTES.
Okay.
Malwarebytes.com. It is a marvelous, and they have a standalone app for Android and iOS. So you can get, but I really like that. And I would recommend anybody looking at a new tablet or phone to look at the Pixel side in addition to the Samsung side, because it's this is my Android tablet right here, and I have it. I mean, it's always within reach.
Another question about the tablet. Can you read Libby library books on it? Does it have Kindle, does it allow Libby? Okay.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, if you can get the app at the App Store. I mean, excuse me, I beg your pardon, at the Play Store. Yeah,
my Samsung tablet did not. It's an older one, but it did not allow Libby. So that was the reason for that question. And it's kind of dead now.
I subscribe to our local library and have access to all of their online tools.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, we certainly can tell that you're excited about this.
I love them. I mean, I can handle I can handle an iPhone, and I can sometimes figure it out, but I can never figure out the icons. I have no clue what the icons mean.
Mm-hmm.
But on Pixel, I know exactly where, and I love being able to make I have like a dozen folders with all of my Google stuff, all of my Computer Club stuff in one folder, all of my security in one folder, all of my files in one. So they have different apps within different folders on the screen. I really like the adaptability, the ease of making it my own. I make every single Windows computer I sit down at, I Jolenize it.
Oh,
It's mine.
absolutely. Yeah.
So the fact that I can do that with my Android devices is a plus for me.
No, I've never used a computer the way Microsoft wants me to use it. It's always the way Judy wants to use it.
Exactly.
Totally customized it. Absolutely. Any questions for
Bill?
Joe?
Bill's got his hand up. You don't see it.
Oh, it is. It's lost in the hoo-has.
Lost in the hoo-ha.
The little guys.
Jolene, I really
green
enjoyed
guys.
your presentation.
Thank you,
because
Bill.
I'm an Android user also. But one of my question is that I have a new S26 and it is loaded with AI
Oh God, I know.
capabilities. And it's overwhelming. I'm having a real trouble learning how to use it. But my question is the Pixel also adapting the AI ecosystem in their products? Because on the Samsung, it's a Samsung feature. It's not part of the AI. I mean, not part of the Android OS.
Yeah. I find Gemini is installed. Gemini is part of it. Google Assistant is becoming more Gemini. I mean, you can choose between the two at this point. But it is not in your face. It is not. It does not. You can either turn it down or turn it off. I mean, it's not. Like I said, the reason I don't enjoy the Samsung is because of all the Samsung stuff. And the Pixel is straightforward Google, Android. So that's why I like that. There are Gemini does not get in my way. I don't use it that often. My AI of choice is Perplexity. So I do have Perplexity on it, but I have the app and I open Perplexity to use it. So it's not but I understand the issue about Samsung, definitely.
Yeah, it's become very well, I would say
annoying
because it's you can turn it off, but I haven't out of the box it's on, and it has lots of capabilities which are from the YouTube videos. It's really fascinating, but it is a steep learning curve. So anyways, I just thought I would share that.
Thank you. Jerry Crow.
Couple of things. First of all, I'm Android all the way. I don't own a single Apple device of any kind. Never will. I just made that decision a long time ago. I love Android. I've got a Samsung S22. I'm perfectly satisfied with it, but I'll get an SNN, whatever the number is, when I decide I want a new phone. The second thing is, you mentioned you'd built some of your own computers. Did I hear you say that? Well, if there's anyone else in this group that's interested, I'm the chairman of the Phoenix chapter of the IEEE Computer Society. And next Wednesday, one of our presenters who lives in Israel, it'll be at noon Mountain Standard Time, which is the same as Pacific Daylight Time now. He's going to give a presentation. He's built a lot of his own computers if anybody's interested. I was going to put the link in the chat, but John still got the chat turned off. So, but whatever, if no one's interested, no big deal, but I thought I'd mention it. So.
Cool.
Could
Thank
you
you, Jerry.
send
Send it to me via email, please.
That's what I was going to say. Recommend. Send it to Judy.
All right, I'll send it to you, Judy. That's fine.
Thank
That's
you much.
terrific.
It's just that this guy's really good at it. He's built 8 or 10 machines, and he's going to give a presentation on how to build an 8-core machine and buying all the components and the motherboards and the cabinets and all that kind of stuff.
One of the greatest pleasures of my life was getting all the pieces parts, getting them all together, getting them all lined up, sitting down and putting them in place. And then you close the cabinet, you put the software in, and behold, you have a computer. And that rush, that joy, the first 2 computers I built, I did not back up data. They both crashed eventually because of my early lack of knowledge. So I also learned to back up real early. I back everything up 2 or 3 or 4 places. And but the joy of building, I built a dozen during the mid-90s, and a couple for friends and mostly for me. And then I got lazy and I'm a laptop gal.
Yeah.
It's become so expensive. I've built 3 over the years, and then my computer club had a SIG where we helped other people build them. But the parts and cases are so expensive to do that anymore. It's cheaper just to buy one off the shelf.
It is, unfortunately. But it sure was fun.
It was fun. It was. I still remember the very first one that I did. Me and a friend, we tried to put it together, and when we plugged it up, we had a pop and smoke. And
we called it burn.
we thought that maybe we had completely destroyed it, but we went back over our instructions and found that we had reversed a plug, a connector connection, and when we fixed that, it ran, and it was as you said, it was quite a rush to see that happening.
Yep.
That was many years ago.
And all my grandsons, well, the 3 oldest have made at least 1, if not more, computers, and and jazzed them up, and you go in and the box lights up and it does this and that, and kind of obscene looking, but they liked it. And I'm here to say that everybody needs to have Malwarebytes on your computer. Also, hands down, drop dead, no matter what. It is absolutely excellent, and you need to run it every once in a while because it looks for different things. It looks for pups, potentially unwanted programs that may or may not eventually do something, but you don't want them because we don't want stuff that we don't want. So please, and it will be free, or like me, you can pay for it. And I bet Jolyn pays for hers too.
Yes.
The problem you
I
have to
do
be
pay for mine, and
careful.
it's worth every single penny. The thing about Malwarebytes is I have used Windows Security, which comes free with Windows, and Malwarebytes since 2007. I've been hit. Nothing has ever gotten through. Nothing has ever gotten through.
Yeah.
I absolutely swear by Malwarebytes. I recommend it to anybody I talk to at the club about it. If they want it, I help them get it set up. I used the free version for 10 years, and I started paying for it in 2017 and have paid for it ever since. And I have it on every single device I own.
But
And
the paid version, does it not replace your antivirus?
no, because all viruses are malicious software, but not all malicious software are viruses.
What I'm saying though, was the paid version of Malwarebytes, does it replace your antivirus on your computer?
No.
I
work both of them.
But it turns off Microsoft.
No, it doesn't. They work together. It does not turn off. It does not turn off Windows Security.
Okay.
I have it right here. I have them both side by side on the taskbar.
Yeah.
In the system tray. They both work when I open. And if something goes, Malwarebytes might tell me there's something wrong with Windows Security, and Windows Security sometimes tells me I need to check Malwarebytes if it hasn't done it. But if you use the free version, you have to install the program and go into the account and change it from the trial to the free version. I used to sit down every first Sunday of every month with coffee and CBS Sunday morning and I would do my maintenance, including running Malwarebytes once a month religiously. And once I paid for it, I don't have to do that anymore because it does it automatically. And it gives me a report every day that everything's clear.
Okay, well, I've been told, I have not tried it myself, that
Right.
the paid version will actually turn off Windows
No,
antivirus.
it does not.
You have to give it permission to do that. It can be your be all end all for everything if you want it to be, but
I use both.
use it with the Windows Defender from back in the day.
Well, now Microsoft Defender and Windows Security are now two different things.
Right, but that's
another story.
Mind. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Kurt, you're on.
Yes, I'd like to address building your own computers. I agree somewhat with Bill James about the costs of building them now, particularly if you're going to make a specific selection of memory, because memory prices have, quadrupled, I think, or close to that in the last year or two. But there are justifications for building your own computer.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. One of them, the computer that you see behind me, that's not the one that I'm running with. That's one I started building a couple of years ago, running Windows 11 on it. In order to build that computer, I had to go out and look for a used computer case because I could not find in the marketplace computers that had multiple external 5 1/4 inch bays. I've got a couple CD DVD burners in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely hard to find a case now that has that new. And if you can find one, it's probably going to be very expensive. I went out and actually used Craigslist looking for computer cases, and fortunately found that one for only $30, and it's a very, very nice Thermaltake case. One thing that may mitigate the cost of building a new computer, if you want to do that, okay, Micro Center regularly puts together bundles of a motherboard, a processor, and memory. Okay, those three things that are sold for a combined price. Okay, those prices, as I've looked at them, and when am I interested in what things cost when I'm going to build something? And I'm not in that mode right now. But I just looked at some prices recently, and while individual memory sticks, a DDR5, have gotten really, really, really expensive, along with solid state hard drives, because they use the same memory. Okay. Those packages look reasonably attractive. Doesn't look to me like, and I don't know how Micro Center is doing this, but it looks to me that they offer a pretty good combined price package if you want to build your own computer.
Cool.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Richard.
Yes, I'll have to agree with Bill James. You've got to be a bit careful with the trial version of Malwarebytes, because some of the extra modules do turn off Windows Defender. Whereas if you stick with the free version, it quite happily runs with Defender. But there's something
I have never had any issues.
No, I found something in the trial version. There are extra modules that will turn off Defender.
Well,
that's why you turn off the trial version.
That's been my experience.
Yeah, that's why you turn off the trial version, use the free version, or pay for it. One of the two. You don't need to even mess with the trial version. You just turn it off.
John
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
I've never had that issue.
Yeah, I was going to add to the discussion about building, because that was the first thing I did when I retired, was to build my own computer. And then I've built 3 of them over the years. I wait too long before it's time to build again. But the problem, we did a yearly build fest with our club where we would come in, talk about what you needed. We would do a road trip, about a 45-mile road trip, taking everybody over to Micro Center. Everybody got their carts and everybody went down, and we got this, 8 of these things. And like Kurt said, a lot of times did the packages, and then everybody would come back, and then over the next week we would put everything together. But my problem now is that after I built this last one right here, the motherboard and the writing on the motherboard is getting so small I can't see what I'm doing, and getting the pin plugs in into the right spot, I can't see that. My eyes have changed because I've gotten old. So, if I were to build again, I'd probably have to get special kind of magnifying goggles so I can see where I'm plugging things in. But I always enjoyed it because I knew the parts that were going into it, and I knew that they were carefully plugged in and put together. That saying, future might say mini PC because of the size and the ease of it might become better than trying to go through all of that.
Yeah,
I
one of
enjoyed
my
it.
son-in-laws built a computer for some reason, and he's not that techie, and it didn't work. He'd put a piece in upside down. So what can I tell you? Kurt, you're going to be our last thing because Jolyn needs to honor Mary.
No, I'm in no rush,
This is
guys.
an observation for those of us that are getting a little bit older and have trouble seeing things that are very, very small. Traditionally, I had learned, that cataracts make the world dark for you, and make things hard to see. And I think traditionally that's true. And it used to be that the degree of that darkness was the thing that would take your doctor, ophthalmologist, optometrist, whatever, to suggest that you've got cataracts that need to be treated. Okay, that's still true. But cataracts also cause a blurring of what you're seeing, especially the small stuff. And I have that problem, and it's nothing right now that can be corrected by corrective eyewear. Okay, my lenses are foggy, and that's why in the next couple of months I'll be undergoing cataract surgery. I hope not cardiac surgery.
It helped me greatly. It made a big difference for me to have the cataracts done. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And I would agree because that's what I've done, but because it corrects far vision, my close-up is worse than it used to be. So, I still wear glasses because of my astigmatism and, reading. And, but yet, getting close used to be, I could get real close and I could see great. Now I can't. So I think I need to get something that Glenn was showing, one of these big magnifying goggles he had.
But more importantly, light.
Yes. Yeah.
Light, absolutely. Really good lights, a nice, good adjustable light on the table that you're working on. And even, you could buy like lenses or frames that have a flashlight in them that you can brighten what's in front of you. So
yeah, I got my headlight one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I have my handy magnifier just right here with all my
absolutely. I keep one in my purse. I have a magnifier in my purse. Absolutely.
Good idea.
Yeah, it's got a little. It's like this. It's got a little case that it slips into, so it doesn't get scratched when it's in there, and it's perfect for.
And every time I have my eyes examined
in a darkened restaurant.
Yes.
My problem is sometimes trying to get my big head into a computer case to get down close enough to see. Kurt, you were going to say something.
About a year and a half ago, I set up a workstation for 3D printing, and I knew that I would need a good desk lamp. And I selected something from Amazon because it sort of looked like it would work and the price was reasonable. It was about $22. Got it and set it up. I'll send a link to Judy and John for this if they want to include it. But it's an extremely bright light. Okay, it has two arms on it that can be either parallel to each other, or they can spread out to be a long light surface. A post that stands up that's flexible, that works. 5 or 6 different levels of white light level, and 5 or 6 different versions of light color.
Oh,
okay. It is marvelous. Okay, I didn't buy it because the thing spread out. I didn't even notice that. I was looking for a light that I could put on this table that would be bright and that I could move around. Okay. I'll find the link and I'll send it to John and Judy. I've got a couple of notes to send it to them. But it is marvelous if you're doing something like working on a computer or small parts or whatnot. Okay. My ophthalmologist also tells me that after the cataract surgery, I am still probably going to want to wear progressive lenses very much like I do now. Okay. In order to read the small stuff.
Right.
And he's also suggested that if I want to go that way, go to the drugstore and buy, $12 cheaters.
Yeah. Little magnifier glasses.
Yeah, I wear computer glasses.
Yep.
For years, I used 2 pairs of glasses. Before cataract surgery, I had my regular glasses and I had a specifically designed pair of glasses that were specifically for the computer.
Right.
When we look at the computer, when we look at a piece of paper, that's the focal length. When we're looking at a computer, the focal length can be up to 12 inches behind the monitor because it's light. It's not a solid surface. So by having something that works a little bit differently than normal, seeing everything else, what is specifically directed for the computer, I used those for years. In fact, it was a presentation at the computer club in the mid-90s about computer glasses that got me started with them. So that can be a help if you are not yet in need of cataract surgery. Having a second to talk to your eye doctors about a secondary computer. And when I went to the eye doctor, it was a different test that they used to create the lenses for my computer glasses.
I have probably had 2 different pair of glasses, prescription glasses, always progressives, one for computers and one for general use. Okay. It wouldn't surprise me if after cataract surgery, I will go back to doing that because I spend so much time, with working on a computer.
But Kurt, I think it depends on your eyes, because I had cataract surgery about 2 years ago, and I chose to use monovision, and I don't have to wear glasses for anything.
Right. If you choose the monovision to get both.
Yeah, I don't.
I found that I did not feel comfortable not wearing glasses after wearing glasses for 35, almost 40 years.
No.
Yep.
I felt naked like this.
Oh, well, you look
I can
naked.
see fine. But there we go. That's better.
I've worn glasses since I was in elementary school, and computer glasses forever and a day. And I always tell people, have somebody measure from your nose to your screen 3 times an average. And that's what you tell your optometrist or your ophthalmologist, how far you sit from your monitor. And I had a pair at home and I had a pair at work. God forbid I should be around a computer without them. And I can even drive with them if I need to, because I've left it on, coming from a meeting and going on the freeway and going, oh, shoot, I still have my computer glasses and it works but I cannot read a book with them. That's my bifocal part. Anyway, Andy Kerrigan, you're on.
Just to throw in a glasses comment, I've been wearing progressives for years and years, and I also had regularly been seeing a chiropractor for crunching. And oh, by the way, my eye doctor picked up on it, and I went over to my dedicated computer glasses, so I'm not looking through the bottom of my lens at the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition, there's a very, very slight tint and more of a glare coating, but they are just for the computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's regular, my regular reading prescription, but with, it's now the full lens and the glare coating and whatever. Worked out great. And I don't see my bone crusher at all.
Yeah, it works wonderfully with your computer glasses because you don't have to keep doing, I wouldn't be caught dead looking like this and trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be looking, because I can look at the middle of my screen and just move my eyes without my head, and I can see everything on my monitor, and it's absolutely wonderful. John Metcalf, and then Stephanie. Ooh, we got SoCal people asking questions. John, you're on.
Sorry, I had to turn on my mic. Yeah, I had cataract surgery in 2019, just before COVID. And yeah, did both of them at the same time.
Oh.
And I'd do it again if I had to. Let me tell you, I wear trifocals. I do not wear progressives because I personally don't like them. So I can see the line. But it's what I'm used to for the last 60 years. So anyway, I had both of them taken out. I didn't pay the extra money to have the astigmatism removed. I could have, but I didn't have it at the time. But anyway, so I have trifocals. Distance, mid distance, which is the computer, and reading. I can't read without them. But
after all these years, John, you think you would have gotten a pair of computer glasses and joined
I have a pair. I was going to there. I have a pair. It's just bifocals without the distance. That's all it is.
Oh, no, mine are the whole lens.
Well, mine are just fine because I need the lower one to read.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody's a little different.
Oh yeah, I can read my copy with no problem with my computer glasses. I wouldn't be caught dead reading a book with them on. Anyway, Stephanie, you're on.
I have had progressives for a number of years, and at some point I was going up and down and had problems with my neck, and so I got a pair of glasses. Well, that worked out fine, but the same organization that later years did a set that was set at the distance to my screen, but I couldn't read the things I needed to read to put on the screen and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was not very happy with that. And and particularly when I told him to do it halfway in before that it would cover both, but he was like 74 and he was not paying enough attention, so so you got to be careful.
Yeah. Tiny.
Yep, three quick things. First off, all the eyeglasses and all that. I appreciate all the information, but I'm going to go with what my optometrist tells me.
Oh no.
But no, really, what I wanted to talk about is two things. John mentioned how hard it was to see things. He's got to get a little hat like I got.
Got two of them. Yep.
And,
cool.
Wears on the head. Wears on the head. Whoops, I better turn it off again. Battery operated. Wears on the head. Different color lights, and where you point your head is where your light goes.
Yeah, I've got it, and that's what I use. But then the problem is I can't still focus and read which pin that thing is supposed to go
that's
on.
Where the magnifying glasses.
Yeah, right.
And then I got one comment on the Pixel. I think we were talking about the Samsung phones. I think the most important reason for buying a Pixel over to Samsung and the other ones is the monthly security updates. And I don't think I didn't hear anybody mention that. Android, Google puts out monthly security updates for the phone, which is security, but like a security patch for the computer. And it comes every month about the 5th of the month. Samsung usually puts that same patch out about 6 months later.
Yep.
Motorola usually puts that same patch out maybe a year later.
And Verizon and T-Mobile,
That's a
they
very good
all
point.
ship it out at their own
Depends,
leisure.
depends, first off, depends on the make of the phone, depends on the carrier you got. And but with the Pixel phones, that security update comes every month on the 5th, about the 5th or 6th sometimes.
There's an Android update. Pixel has it as soon as it comes out of their mouth that there's an update, and the rest of those.
I just wanted to mention that as one of, I think, the big reasons for getting the Pixel over.
Thank you, Tiny. Excellent point.
Yep. Steve Parker.
Yeah, John. I found one thing you might want to try when you're looking inside the computer and you see one that's dark gray letters on a black background and they're microscopic, and it doesn't matter how bright the light is or how big your magnifying glass is, there's no way you can read the thing that's on there. What you do is you just take your cell phone, set it to macro, zoom in on the thing, and take a picture of it. Or just look at it as you're looking through the phone, and it works better, way better than any magnifying glass or anything.
That's true. I've used something like that in the past. Thanks for reminding me, Steve.
That might be the best thing that somebody out there got from this
Could be, yeah.
10-hour change workshop we had. Oh my God, the light bulb goes on. Take a picture with my phone. Why didn't I think of that?
And zoom in on it.
Yep, I do that all the time with to try to pick up on tiny type.
Yep. Outstanding presentations today, guys. 2 totally different topics. We learned so much. It was absolutely incredible. And that's what these Wednesday workshops are all about.